Hello students, again here is Ashu Gupta, Assistant Professor. Welcomes you all on the behalf of the Indraprasth Law College. As you know that already we have discussed so many topics regarding the subject of international law, and we have discussed about the state recognition, and in this continuation today we will discuss about the withdrawal of the recognition, what it means and what is the procedure of withdrawal of recognition given in the subject of the international law. And after that we will discuss about the recognition of government, how a government can recognized on the international level. So let's open the today's lectures topic and discuss in detail about that. So firstly you have to know about the recognition, what is recognition. Then you may see the previous lectures and take the help from these lectures, and after that you may understand the whole concept behind the withdrawal of the recognition, according to which if we say that withdrawal of recognition may be defined into two terms, that is called as a withdrawal of de facto recognition, and another one is withdrawal of de jure recognition. That both things we have already discussed in the previous lecture on the topic of types of recognition, wherein we have discussed in detail about the de facto recognition and the de jure recognition. But today's we are discussing about the part of the withdrawal regarding these recognitions, de facto as well as de jure. So first of all, first one we have discussed about the de facto recognition, and here today we are discussing about its withdrawal, means the withdrawal of de facto recognition. What is the procedure to withdraw in case of de facto recognition? So first you have to know that withdrawal of de facto recognition is possible under international law only on the ground that if the recognized state has been failed to fulfill the prerequisite condition for statehood. So in such a case, the recognizing state may withdraw from the recognition by communicating a declaration to the authorities of the recognized state or by a public statement. That is a basic So that is the concept behind the withdrawal of de facto recognition. I think you may clarify it very well. And after that, if we talk about the withdrawal of the de jure recognition, basically there are different views about the withdrawal of de jure recognition. But according to the strict letters of international law, and by the virtue of some conventions in this behalf, it is evident that the withdrawal of de jure recognition is not valid in any case. So de jure recognition is not valid in any case if you take about the de jure recognition. Though recognition is a political act, but de jure is a legal oriented by nature and status. But somehow jurists think that de jure recognition may be withdrawn, but it is a political act. But in fact it is not so. Only those de jure recognitions may be withdrawn where a state subsequently loses any essentials of statehood. And in such a case, the state withdrawing from recognition shall send his express intention to the concerned authority, issue a public statement to that extent. That is the whole concept behind the withdrawal of the de jure recognition. I hope you will very well understand the concept of withdrawal of de facto recognition and the withdrawal of de jure recognition. Now we will talk about the recognition of government, and if we say about the recognition of government, as we know that the government is an essential of statehood, but by government it is meant the administrative and controlling tool of a state. Once a state comes into being, its government may change from time to time. If the change of government takes place in ordinary political life, the existing states are not required to recognize the new government. But sometimes the change of government takes place as a result of revolution. In such a case, it becomes necessary to ascertain that whether this new revolutionary government is capable of having sufficient control over the people of the territory or not, and willing to maintain international responsibilities and duties or not. So if the existing states considers that this new government is capable of fulfilling these conditions, then the new government may be recognized. And the recognition of new regime means that the existing states are satisfied that the new government has a capacity to control and is willing to perform international duties and obligations. The recognition may be either de facto or de jure, as we already know that, and the intention may be expressed either by sending a message to the authority of the new government or to declare the same in a public servant. The modern practice is seemed to be rejected the doctrine of recognition of new government. So now some states as USA and UK and others have adopted a course to give assent to the above preconditions for a government merely by extending relations or cessation of relations with such government. Non-recognition of government doesn't affect the recognition of a state, but a state remains recognized. The only consequences of the non-recognition of new revolutionary government is a suspension of the bilateral relations between the existing state and the new government. And as soon as the said government is to be replaced by any other government, if recognized, the relations shall be recontinued on the same pattern as were with the previous government of the revolutionary one. The consequences of the recognition of a new government means to keep the relations in the same manner as were the previous government. So that is the recognition, the terms and conditions about the recognition of the government on the level of the international law, how to get the government recognized, and what the consequences behind it to recognize the government on the international level on the behalf of the international law. So I think today we have discussed the two things. First one is withdrawal of recognition on the part of the de facto recognition and the de jure recognition, and the second one is recognition of government, how to contain the recognition of government, and what is the consequences if the government recognized through the international level or not, also not recognized, then what is the circumstances arises behind that state. So these are the basic concepts given under international law. Hope you will understand the whole concept and very well understood all the things, and you will have been enjoyed the whole session and successfully enumerated it into your study and be benefited from this lecture series. Thank you. We will meet soon again in the next lecture. Thank you very much.